Next in the tank is a disaster tarp that's ready when you need it in a hurry.
Good afternoon, Sharks. Kalen Whitney, owner of Whitney Roofing, and an inventor of the Hurri Tarp. Play on words, Hurri. It's a hurricane tarp for any mitigation after a storm comes through, any wind-driven rain or any wind-driven debris on your roof, any trees falling on it, any tiles blown off, shingles blown off. It's going to be used to mitigate any damage that you have or may occur during a storm, hurricane, tornado, windstorm in the Midwest, you name it. This will help. It's self-weighted. It is weighed down by water. You do not cause any damage to the roof whenever you install it. No one can point fingers at you for causing unnecessary damage to the roof because it is all self-contained. The adjusters come in. They always inevitably want you to take your tarp that you already did off so they can take their own photos with their own camera, and then you have to re-tarp something you already tarped. Now you just slide it out of the way, let them take their photos, and you put it back in place. You don't even have to be there. They can do it.
How did you come up with the idea?
I was tarping, one of my sales reps, Jeff Barber, he was doing a commercial roof in Effingham, where we're from, Effingham, Illinois, and it was right before a storm rolled in. They had storms the day prior, and he was wanting to beat it, and he calls me up, says, hey, I got a flat roof here, and I got a flat roof over in another town close to us, Altamont. I need some help. So I go there. It's a barrel-style EPDM roof. He's like, how do we tarp this? It's like, I don't know, really. I mean, I'd never had to do this. It's an EPDM membrane. So as I'm driving to Menards to go ahead and get a big tarp with some bricks, blocks, sandbags, you name it, trying to brainstorm, I came up with a concept. It's like, man, there's got to be a self-weighted tarp. And I looked and looked and looked, scoured the internet, couldn't find anything. It's like, I think I'm onto something. So I kind of brainstormed a few other models that I had, different concepts, and I kind of landed on this option because it's filled with water. You don't have to bring any extra bricks. You don't have multiple trips up and down the roof. It's one trip up, one trip down. You limit your footfalls on tile roofs. You limit your exposure to causing unnecessary damage to a roof. You are one up, one down. You fill it up. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and it mitigates any finger pointing. It takes all the liability off of my insurance company, off the consumer's insurance company. They can't say I caused unnecessary damage. My insurance company doesn't have to worry about me making multiple trips, falling hazards, you name it, getting the liability of that. It negates all that. Answers all the pitfalls of modern day tarping. So,
question for you. You said that this can be put on before the storm. Is that correct?
You could, yes.
You could. And by doing so, you possibly, in your opinion, can mitigate the damages to the roof during a large storm, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you had any insurance companies that have come in following a large storm and purchased the roof when it had this product on the roof?
No, sir.
Okay.
It's just a prototype?
It's just a prototype.
So we have a prototype here?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Do you have a patent on it?
I have a patent pending, and the trademark on the name too.
How much does it cost?
We're trying to figure that out. Obviously, with more volume, we can get the price down. We're trying to be relatively close to tarps of similar size, but the 10 by 10 as it stands right now would need to land around $80 to $90 a unit, but you'd save in your labor and your time and your exposure. So yeah, you are spending a little bit more, but it is a better product. It's thicker than the standard tarps that you have. It's 0.7 millimeters thick, and it's 0.4 millimeters thick on the top sheet. So in mil thickness, that is about roughly 42 mil thickness. So it's a thick product. It's withstand any rain, wind. I've had it on my personal roof. The unit that I have here today, it's reused. It was put on my roof when it came in, and I had it there for about 5-6 months through all the spring storms and all the summer storms that we've experienced in Illinois, and it didn't budge an inch. And it's still withholding. It's withstanding all the...
What's the business? Who is the buyer? Who is the customer? Who do you sell it to?
I'm selling to anyone that has to mitigate any wind damage.
So adjusters, homeowners?
Anyone. Tarping companies, homeowners that want to do it themselves, roofing contractors, anyone that has any damage on a roof.
How much does 10 by 10 sells now if you would sell it today? Let's say you have 100 orders.
100 orders, it's still be around the $80 range. If I get units, if I get more demand, obviously I can get my product down. You'd be talking, I think I got a price for 1,000 units. It was significantly cheaper. It goes down incrementally as you go up higher.
Pat, how much do you think a roofer can sell it for?
Installed?
Yeah.
Instead of a tarp,
Yeah.
I'd say probably 3x.
So average tarp, $500-600.
Yep.
What do you think is a retail price for a roofer?
As far as selling it to a consumer,
Yeah.
I would say that's about accurate. I mean, given what it's doing and what you're, honestly, the peace of mind as a contractor, knowing that I can send basically anyone out to do this tarp, as long as they have a little bit of guidance and comfortable walking on a roof, they can go out and do this. My exposure is limited. I'd be happy all day making 3x on what it costs.
Let's cut the brass tacks here though, because there are a number of people that are your competitors that have a lot more money and they've got a lot more reputation and they've got a lot more brand in the industry. Take your shrink wrap companies that are out there right now. They're gonna say that the thickness doesn't matter that you're talking about, right? The thickness, just like if you go to shingle manufacturers, it's not the thickness, so they're gonna come up with a whole different thing about that. How do you compete against these shrink wrap companies that are gonna say, hey, listen, we'll come in there, we'll go in and put that, we'll shrink wrap that thing and it's gonna be just fine, and it's 140 mile an hour, wind rated, and we can, whatever else to go ahead and minimize those damages that have been done to the roof. How will you compete against those big guys?
I think a lot of that's unnecessary to mitigate a house properly. It's overkill, in my opinion. I think it's a problem in the industry with overcharging for something to do something so small and making it a lot bigger than it needs to be. I think that
Good answer.
this gives an opportunity to only fix what is necessary to mitigate the problem and not wrap a whole house. To me, that's overkill. In a lot of instances, there might be a time and place for that, but realistically, not every roof needs completely encased with shrink wrap.
I gotta tell you, man, I don't think you're thinking big enough, in my opinion, because in my opinion, the real players, insurance carriers, who are tired of paying exorbitant rates for shrink wrap and tarps, and they've been murdered by this over the last 5 years. And you're telling me that if I can get a product that's a better product, and I can, as an insurance company, to mitigate those damages, pay substantially less than I'm gonna pay for a shrink wrap product, now you're disturbing an industry, in my opinion. That's, I think, where I think your market is insurance companies who are tired of paying an exorbitant rate for shrink wrap.
Yes, that's one of the larger, bigger picture angles that I was wanting to go, to where you can now not monopolize, I don't want to say that, but more so standardize a process that hasn't been standardized, because it's the wild, wild west in terms of mitigating. There's no real rules. The policies typically just state, in order to mitigate, do what is you deem necessary, and what is that? It's a gray area. So this, now they can standardize, saying, hey, that's a 10 by 10 section that could use a 10 by 10 Hurri Tarp. That's all we're paying for, and that's all you would be paid for. If you do anything else beyond that, you will not get money for this product, because this is the only product we approve to be paid for on this loss. So that now they can kind of corner the market a little bit and kind of just standardize it to where it's, hey, this claim it's a 20, because we come in any different size, it's customizable, but standardized right now I'm looking 10 by 10 and 20 by 20. So they can say, hey, that's a larger area, let's go ahead and put the 20 by 20, and that's all that is allowed in this policy or in this claim. And they can now just say that's all you're being paid for. You won't have tree companies coming in, sending exorbitant amount invoices that are just, they name their price kind of thing because it's emergency service. They now can't do that. No, we're paying for the 10 by 10 Hurri Tarp, that's all that was necessary. You don't have the tarping companies that are coming in making hand over fist money. They're again doing something that is more wholesome. It's doing the job. It cuts the BS out of the industry, and it standardizes an entire process that has not been standardized to date. Answers a lot of
Have you sold? I see that you have Whitney roofing jersey. By the way, I love the color.
Yes,
Love
sir.
the purple. What's the story behind this?
With our rebrand.
Yeah.
This is our dog. We made him into a mascot to immortalize him, because obviously I don't want to keep buying English Bulldogs every time one passes away. It's my kid's dog. It's Peter Parker. He kind of became our mascot last year. We kind of started putting him in our videos, like making him drive trucks, and it kind of fell into our rebrand because everyone liked it. And it was non-invasive. It's not talking about roofs. It's talking about a dog. Everyone can level with you and humanize yourself. And then we wanted to kind of stand out with colors because I worked a storm and there was a lot of blues and whites. That's what we used to be. And I wanted something that popped. My son's actually a Minnesota Vikings fan, and it kind of just fell into it where it made sense, and he was a fan of it. So I was like, let's go.
Go Vikings.
Yeah.
So have you sold any of the tarps under your company?
No, sir.
Why not? If you already have it, like that's my biggest concern, how sellable it is. Like if you have it, if you already have done it, like, why you didn't sell it?
To answer your question, the main reason is just in order to get multiples of these produced, I would have to put a larger order in because they'd have to get a large quantity in, and it wasn't feasible at the point at where I'm at product-wise to mass produce it yet. I want to kind of see how it performed, which
but you have one, so you don't have a proof of concept.
I have one this is my 6th prototype. So I've seen some of the problems that we had prior.
What's stopping you to sell it under your roofing company? So if you want roofers to buy it, why you cannot make at least one sale?
Nothing. We actually had applications for it, but we were using the one good one on my roof just to test it out in the weather. I was wanting to see how it did. And
so you're still testing the product?
Yes, I was. But this was the first time I actually took it off my roof, and I cleaned it off and brought it here today. But I firmly believe that I think we worked out most, if not all, the kinks. We have some cold weather recommendations that I will work through, and some other things. We actually have a PVC that has a colder brittle, or a lower variance or temperature that it can withstand, so it won't freeze and get brittle at colder weather, because we experienced that with our last prototypes. They got brittle and freeze thaw cycle, and it cracked my welds. So we got a better product now, and we also have some other recommendations that I've come up with since that to negate that problem in colder climates.
How do people order? Do you have a website? Is a back end fulfilled? Like if someone wants to place order today, are you in? At
this point, I don't have anything set up yet. That's why I'm here today to talk to you.
Got it. Guys, comment below if you would like to get a tester, if you want to test this product, maybe get a sampler, sell it, try it in your business. Let's go check it out on the roof. So this is like my first impression, genius. This is not what I expected. Simple, but genius is always in a simple. You came up with the idea?
Yes, sir.
Love it.
We got this flap down here. Obviously the grommets were put in the wrong spot. They need to be moved down here, but this is so you can do mid-roof application, so it can tuck underneath shingles. So you'll sacrifice one row of shingles to mitigate a problem, which, given the circumstances, I think that's justifiable.
Yeah.
So if it's too far down from a ridge where you can't get it up over and all you have is 10 by 10, this answers that problem. You will nail through this. Try not to get anything down below. And then we have some secondary recommendations as far as just emergency or temporary, or not temporary, but secondary ways to support it just in case. But I've put it mid-roof without any supports, any nails, and it does not move. It sticks kind of similar to the steep geared shorts.
Yeah.
It glues to the roof. I put it on my personal house. It was a 7/12 pitch, didn't move an inch. And I had it over the ridge with no weight over the top.
How much does something like this weigh fully with the water inside of it?
With everything inside of it, it's right around 200 pounds.
Okay.
I mean, it's good for the spread.
Yes.
Very.
And so you don't have any potential for, uplift. It's all sealed. It's a vacuum seal. Say that, for instance, that I need to, it calls for a 20 by 20, but all I had was 2 10 by 10s. You can interlay them. So I'll fill this one up first, and I'll put my next one over it. It'll vacuum seal where this water is, and you still have a channel for water to get out in the event that water does get in there. You don't have any way for water to get past. So you can make it as customizable as you want. You can make it, the list goes on.
Dimitri, one of the things that I'm thinking about is a lot of these roofers, they sub out this part. They go to a tarping company, they go to that. That's money out of their pocket.
Yes, sir.
So if they keep this in-house and they're doing this, they're charging, let's say 3x you would for a tarp. What an opportunity to make that extra income. It's the first thing that's coming to my mind right now.
And for me to install this today, whenever we do packaging, I want to make it so that it meets OSHA standards. The packaging that I'm going to design will have a handle on it. So you have 3 points of contact whenever you're carrying this up the roof. So it'll be packaged where you just throw it over your shoulder, you climb the roof.
This guy's thinking about it all.
I want to have a carabiner that comes in your first kit that will attach your hose. So you can just carry your hose up on your belt loop, and you only have one trip up. And you're 3 points of contact, you're OSHA compliant, and you get this up on the roof, and you don't have a bunch of trips up and down. It's one and done.
Love it. Well, I'm very, very impressed. Very well designed. This is definitely a game changer. This guy deserves to be multi-millionaire just for this invention. I think all the suppliers should start carrying it. I'm gonna talk to a roof store to carry it on the roof store, sell it through our channel, give you a little push there. So let's place order for like 100, give me the price, whatever. Let's start pushing it out. Roofers, you need this. Don't sleep on it. This is the next big thing. Freaking love it. Change it, you know, changes the game, and it's definitely the next best thing next to the tarp. Tarping sucks. Love it, man. Good job.
Really well done. Really well done.
So our first rendition actually had like hard 90s, and that's where all the welds failed. So we did this radius 90 to actually get a seamless weld. And then we put these in here to basically relieve the stress that it puts on any one point. So that's what this is for, to relieve that pressure. And I mean, this is like the enhanced model. Obviously, like I said, these grommets were put in the wrong spot. They need to go here. But it exceeds all anything that I could find online about like the regulations on tarps in terms of thickness and what their requirements are. It exceeds all that and then some. So I mean, this is the Cadillac of tarps.
Guys, comment below if you would like to try it. We'll ship you one or tell you how to get one. I want to promote this product because I believe in it. Just from seeing it firsthand, this is my roof. We've tested it and it's very impressive. You can impress your homeowners. We're also probably going to create an offer for directory.com so you can sell it directly from directory.com installed to your customers, especially if you live in Florida and hurricane areas. Install this before hurricane even hits the ground so people have peace of mind about their roofs. Comment below what you think if you're impressed.